one word to describe the entertainment marketing.
I think I liked a phrase that you had used earlier, chaotic genius. So I would stick with that. So there's two words, but then chaotic genius would be my top pick.
It's very true. You need to find a beauty in this chaotic world. Hi Edwin, welcome to another episode of Echofied brought to you by Unbound Slate. So in this episode we are going to discuss something that's very interesting, some things that collide with two different worlds and become one in the world which we are living in and vibing to. So we are going to talk about marketing in the entertainment industry. Hi, I'm Parvati.
I'm Aravind. And let me tell you one thing that you'll probably forget to look at your phones after this. And that's kind of our marketing pitch for this podcast. That is going to be so great.
Okay, so we are going to talk about from, how different in marketing in entertainment industry is as such.
Exactly.
From BTS to Tomorrowland
Okay.
to Barbie movie, and even to wildest product placement and drops that happens in the entertainment.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we will touch, I think, how a product placement is done and how something goes viral, and even without any effort, how naturally something can go viral.
Typically creating the hype behind a movie,
Yeah,
right? Yes.
yeah.
Movie, show, star, anyone per
Yeah.
se, right? Okay, yes. Sounds good. And I think we're not just touching the surface of things. We are going to do a deep dive, take up case studies, numbers, see exactly what failed, what worked, how a movie or how a show became viral globally, and still keeping up a loyal base as such, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's start.
So, let's talk about the very obvious thing that is right now in the world which we are living in, is that marketing and entertainment is not something that is separate.
Okay.
Or it is not that we can segregate and say that, oh, yeah, that was just because of pure entertainment industry as such that's happening, or
True.
this is not marketing alone. It's like marketing runs the show now.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, let's talk about
Completely agreed,
yeah. If you take Marvel or DC,
Okay.
you can see how they run their marketing. They start like maybe 5-10 years ahead, and they see and they create that kind of hype, and people start talking about it, people start tweeting about it, and how even to an extent that some people even start conspiracy theories based on movies. Have you seen that?
Yes. So I think they inject characters into certain series or certain movies that may not be relevant to that particular movie, but it's like, okay, this is coming next.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's just not movies or comics or series with them. They're merchandise.
Yeah.
They do different. They use the actual movie stars that do each of these characters, the kind of activity they do with them, the engagement, even the merchandise. Again, going back to the merchandise, wide variety of merchandise, right?
Yeah.
From keychains to pen holders to T-shirts,
Yeah.
to action figures, whatever
Action
you name it, you
figures,
get it.
Yeah, exactly. Very true. I was actually very recently. I saw a video of someone showing like an old movie,
Okay.
and they're talking about it now,
Hmm?
and they're saying that there are different layers to that movie, and there are some hidden scenes, meanings from that
Yes,
movie.
true.
Yeah, and it creates, and all of a sudden everyone starts talking about it. Okay, there is some kind of theory here. So that curiosity in people is so much nowadays.
True.
And when someone starts a small fire, it goes like a full-fledged wildfire, and it goes everywhere. It spreads so fast.
Now, we as human beings are generally curious in nature, right? We want to know what is happening. So if you put something like this, a multi-billion-dollar industry, global, what do you say? I would say Marvel is like a ecosystem in itself, right?
Yeah.
So if you put something in there, and then obviously we are curious of what is happening next, right? So that is definitely there. I agree with you on that as well. So I think that's what Marvel and that's what most of these entertainment brands have been able to achieve nowadays, right? So
Yeah.
not just they're not the ones speaking about the brand. I
yeah,
think it's
exactly.
the fan base that's speaking about the brand.
Yeah, it's more of like a co-creation
True.
with the audience. It's not just okay. They are just here for entertainment basis or as viewers. You're not anymore considered as a viewer.
True.
Okay, or someone who consumes a product or service. You're considered as a co-creator,
Brand ambassador.
brand
person.
ambassador, and you create. So it's easy. Like for example, if you remember the series that came in Netflix Wednesday.
Oh yeah, Wednesday.
Yeah.
It
So
has a I don't know. It was like 80s, 90s thing that we used to watch, and I'm not
yeah,
sure anyone
cartoon,
watches.
yeah,
Anyone
yeah.
would have watched the cartoon
Adam's
now.
Family, yeah.
No one would have.
No
watched
one
it.
would have. I don't know would anyone. Yeah, Adam's Family. So if you see that, it became so popular with just one dance
Dance
move,
move. Yes. True.
and it was like an organic growth. They didn't put much of an effort into it. It was like completely organic. What more does a brand wants?
True. True. And even the storyline, right? So if you look at it from the crux, right? Even when the show was launched in the 80s, 90s, it was popular. People still like those kind of genre, right? You talk
Yeah.
about Gen Z, we talk about millennials. But eventually, at the end of the day, it's the same storyline, it's the same character, but in a different, what do you say, VFX.
Yeah.
Right? Different graphics, different level of reality, rather than having a cartoonish figure to it.
Yeah, so what I see is that millennials like nostalgia and Gen Z likes reality.
Reality.
What's real. So you combine both things,
And this
you
is what
have
you get.
two audiences who are ready to take in whatever we give them.
And a show like Wednesday is what you get.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, you were saying conspiracies, right?
Yeah.
So, I want to point out a good example for that, which is Game of Thrones. Right. So, I think the producers and all the people involved started dropping cryptic teasers on social media, right? Be it TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, wherever X,
Yeah.
wherever it is. So they started dropping what do you say, cryptic messages, and I think by the end of when they reached the 8th season, people were rushing to see the first 7,
Yeah.
just so that they know what is happening on the 8th. People who have not watched the 8th have also been giving out stories that this would be what the finale is,
Yeah.
this is what will happen, and things like that. And when the finale was aired, they had their own opinions, their own stories, their own what do you say, perception of what was aired as well. So that's another great example, I guess. Right?
Yeah, it is. And the recent series that came like last month, the season 3 of White Lotus.
Okay.
When it came, it was like people wait for the each episode to come out, and the way I would say product placements is done in White Lotus is amazing.
Okay.
Because everyone wants to be a part of that series. You would once the White Lotus was I think it's in season 2 it was in Italy, in a hotel in Italy.
Okay.
And once that season was aired, that resort was completely booked. Tourism was like it happens like that.
It happens like that,
Before
yes.
that in Maui when they did the season 1, look, people were going there just because that series was from that particular place.
But product placement has happened all across.
All
right?
across, yeah.
it
So
happened-
so everyone wants to be like, you see the tote bags they use, and it's out there. The dresses they wear, the brands pick it up, as seen in White Lotus.
I think it started from, I would say, James Bond having his classy,
classic,
elegant
yeah.
Aston Martin cars.
So that is like a sleek co-branding
Yeah.
that has happened over the years.
Over
and
the years, true.
you cannot separate James Bond from
Aston Martin
Aston Martin anymore. It's like it's embedded in us for so long. Yeah. And another great example is Stranger Things. Eggo's waffles in Stranger Things. So it became so popular It's a perfect example of product placements in.
True. So I think Eggo's Waffle, what they did was they made that the character of the what is the identity of the character per se,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And that's how they slowly embedded this into
It
the
became,
entire
yeah,
story.
yeah, where it became so natural.
True.
In the storyline, it became so natural.
So there was no scream for buy this product now,
No.
right? There was actually a subtle embedding
Subtle,
process.
yeah. You just place it somewhere and make sure the character drinks it, use it, or wear it, or whatever, mentions it, becomes part of the story.
Yes.
And then, then obviously we get a FOMO as an audience.
Yeah.
We want to be a part of that. Okay.
True.
So,
You go out of the supermarket and purchase it.
yeah, maybe I'm not able to go to a Four Seasons in Bali or Italy or anywhere. But then when you own a piece of that, okay, you feel that, okay, yeah, I have something which was also.
Which is why I think Kellogg's saw a rise in sales also, right?
Yeah.
Kellogg's, they also, I think, went ahead and packaged some of their products in retro packaging, which was to keep this hype up.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
At the same time, so they do not do any marketing or branding around it as a brand, but they subtly introduce it in the show, and then they subtly introduce the packaging. So it's all subtle changes, right? Small changes to packaging, small changes to this and that here.
I always believe that it's the small changes that makes a big difference. So the ripple effect that it has on the market as such, it's not just when you do an aggressive thing, but then subtly placing things here, subtly triggering, things, evoking emotions, making people curious in a subtle way. You don't have to give them so much of things. It naturally picks up.
True.
Yeah, just put it out there. The rest happens. So I believe that that's what, make a real impact
True.
in the marketing. So I cannot ever stop mentioning about this particular movie when it comes to the virality of it. There's a Barbie movie.
Oh, definitely. Most definitely. Most definitely. The way I don't know the words to use. Even the typical stereotypical male chauvinist people, right? They were even following Barbie.
Yeah.
It came to an extent. So I think earlier Barbie was seen more of a feminine thing, wherein it was just dolls and things like that. But everyone is seeing the movie now. Everyone has seen the movie.
Everyone has seen the movie. Everyone. It's like Barbie became like a part of your life. It was portrayed like that. Someone who can relate to. When you go to the storyline as such, it's like that. From marketing angle, if you look at the way they have marketed the movie, the way they created memes, painting an Airbnb into pink color.
They did collaborations with, I think, almost all brands. Crocs,
all brands.
Adidas, all the brands, right? Yeah.
So that was amazing, to the extent to which a movie can go and, especially like a service product can go and do things as such and then become a box office hit on the same day when Oppenheimer was also released.
I think they used that as a leverage also, right? They had this Barbara Hyman thing going on, and then it was used as a leverage for both the brands.
Both the brands.
Yeah, so both the movies got that kind of, virality in which both genres were very different, right?
Yeah.
And there were memes going on which showing male guys going for Oppenheimer, but inside he's wearing a pink dress and going for
Barbie after this.
Immediately after that, right? So I think that's, again, coming back to the merchandise, right? So the amount of merchandise they could come up with, the ideas they could come up with, that is incredible, I would say.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's just anything to do with geography, right? So every country, every show, everyone has access to getting global, right? K-pop,
BTS, yeah.
Both these brands, right? Who would have thought they would have gone so viral with an army of followers everywhere?
Yeah, BTS army is very popular. Blackpink,
yes.
Yeah.
So we have people in our office at Vaishai that does this action per se, right? So this is BTS love symbol, right?
Yeah.
And we keep doing this to each other like this at times when we were going for some event. We were like this. So I'm like, what is this? This is BTS. Yeah, but then that's the kind of virality and what do you say, opportunities that are there, right?
Yeah.
It's not convey to media, mainstream media. There's TikTok, Instagram, all these platforms.
Yeah.
How critical do you think TikTok is for any growth or any Instagram?
I think social media is very crucial
Mm.
everywhere for any brand to reach out and connect with people. I'll tell you one thing. We are talking about BTS
Yes.
and all these things, so, and social media. Per se. So there was this one incident wherein I had given uh, on music, entertainment, marketing related question, and student had written BTS. Okay, so the question it was a BTS case study,
Okay.
and in the class of 60, let's say, this particular student had gone over and beyond and written so well,
Okay.
like apart from what is given in the question paper. So I knew that she or he
Is a-
knows so much about BTS.
Yeah. He's a fan.
He's a fan.
He's a fan.
So I asked the student how, why do you follow, BTS? Like, so I understood it's a hardcore BTS fan. Then she's like, I can, I feel that this, their music I can relate to them. My life, they are touching my life. So he was like, oh my God, the attachment that student had to this particular music was so much. Okay. She was saying that it has emotionally changed her. It has helped her to overcome depression, or whenever she's feeling low, she
Low.
listens to this particular music. So it helps her to move forward. So that is the impact this particular music is having on one particular person. So imagine how much ripple effect it would have caused on a huge global.
No, true, definitely, definitely. So I think it all comes down to feeling of belongingness, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's more of a psychological thing
Yes.
where you feel belong. It might be a movie, it might be a show, it might be some music concert, but at the end of the day you feel attached to it.
Attached, and the feeling of belongings, like you said, as a human we always feel like we need to belong somewhere, accepted somewhere, and it's a beautiful gap wherein all the brands come in and pitch. That's what I would say. If you look at it from the marketing angle, there's a place where you come in and don't worry, if no one is there, I am there.
I am there.
No worry, yeah, because that belongingness and feeling of accepted in a group, in a peer group, in a social group, we all want that. It's our innate human nature. So I think when brands pitch into that level, they become emotionally so close to that brand.
True.
Yeah.
So I remember there's this not so popular movie. This is one of my favorites back in school. Never Back Down. So it was more of a fighting movie wherein he trained, he got well. But the point why I said it is because again I used to feel belonged. That this movie relates to me. This movie is something that I want to watch. Okay, I'm not doing well. Okay, now I'll be okay. So this used to relate to me. So I'm sure many people have that kind of thought process with each and every movie, right?
Yes. So when we see like people go for concerts, right? And one of the major thing they go is that their love for the artist. They could very well relate to their music. They enjoy it. All those factors are there. I'm not disagreeing to whatever we are discussing. The feeling of belongingness into someone, so that you're not alone.
True. True.
Apart from that, you also have a peer pressure. Let's take Coldplay.
Okay.
Coldplay coming to India. When it came during the last couple of months, like Jan, the impact it created on the economy of India as such is so huge. You can see that so many bands are coming to India this year. There's so much of lineups. And it's not just people who went for Coldplay. I don't think majority of them.
No Coldplay.
Like maybe that's the first time they're even hearing.
Yeah, they would not heard songs of Coldplay.
Yeah,
as
it's
such,
not
yes.
nearly now everyone knows about Coldplay. Okay, if let's just imagine there are bands that came to India much before, let's say Beatles. No one knew much of Beatles.
It didn't
get the popularity as it is today
true,
for Coldplay.
true.
Why? It's a big question.
So I agree. Peer pressure is a very, very big factor nowadays, right? So because
Peer pressure, social media, FOMO.
fear of missing out is definitely one, yes.
How much I'm not just talking about Coldplay or entertainment per se. You check out for anything for that matter. Even going for Kumbh Mela, because someone else is going and doing a holy dip challenge, I
True.
also want to go there and do a holy
Holy
dip
dip
challenge.
I think this is one very big important point also, right? So why everyone just captures it on their mobile. They go to this concert. First thing that they'll do is put a story on their Instagram
Yeah.
page, tag everyone involved, show it to the world,
Yeah.
right? Because essentially they might not want to be there, but they have to be there, and they're there.
Yeah. So that brings to a much deeper question from a psychological point of view is that what makes you do it? Is that are you trying to fill in a gap in your life by showing everyone that you have a life?
Could be. I mean, that could be one scenario, but I think that's where brands are winning, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that comes to a point where, as a marketer, that is your trump card.
Trump card, true.
Yeah.
That feeling and that fear of missing out and playing on that, acting at the right points, maybe, right?
Yeah. Acting at the right point and just giving people something to look forward to. You don't have anything to look forward to, there's nothing. But then give them, spice up the life a bit. Give them, we'll put some pictures, leak photos.
Leak photos.
Of movies yet to be released, a bit of trailers here and there, a sneak peek into it, put it out. Oh yeah, everyone else will start talking
Everyone
about
should
it.
not talk about true.
And then, sorry, it was a mistake. It was not intentional, unintentionally it happened, mistake.
Intentionally, what I think Marvel does that best, right?
Yeah.
They show the entire credits. People have to wait at least 5 minutes to see a 10-second scene,
Yes.
right? Which leads to something new,
Yes.
completely new.
Yes.
And just to see that, you're watching the entire post-credit scenario,
Yes.
and then you're reading all the news because you have nothing else to do.
Exactly.
Right,
But
so-
then the people stay for the 10 seconds,
True.
right? That's where they're winning.
Yeah, that's why they're winning. Completely agree on that.
Yeah. It's not the entire length of the movie. Anyway, people will sit. But
True.
that 10 seconds, that's I would say that's exactly where Marvel is winning.
So I was talking about this earlier also, right? So I think there's one app that on a global scale we cannot ignore, which is TikTok.
Ah, yeah.
I think in Indian market, because it's banned and things like that, there's Instagram and everything coming up. But at one point, TikTok was everything, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
That's TikTok created a trend. I would say that the penetration TikTok had is so wide. Like it went into the nook and corners of places where people can create their own content. And
However cringe it was, right?
however cringe it is. That's what and you don't have to be scared to put yourself out on a social media. That's what it brought in. You don't have to feel awkward. You're not socially awkward. You might be a socially awkward person in real life, but in the social media you are not.
True.
Yeah. So all those inhibitions, all that that barriers, maybe even within YouTube, even though YouTube was there much before TikTok and Instagram, TikTok actually broke down all those things.
True.
And it went to larger population.
True.
So you cannot, no matter you say that you might not be into TikTok or you're not using TikTok, especially in India, we cannot just downplay the value of that particular social media, because that has brought in a lot of influence in the global.
And at affordable price also, right? So I think there was this little Nas X that just spent around $30 to promote one meme, which went viral. And I think it was trending on number one for 19 weeks. Just by spending $30. That's
$30,
it. So making it accessible was very, 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 very critical for this. Right?
Yeah. So that's very important, right? Maybe there are so many downsides. If you start listing down the downsides of all this social media, you can say there are a lot of, because
True.
a lot of false information. You just somewhere I read stats. I'm not sure whether it is right or not. Like 30 to 40% of the time, you blindly follow the influencer's review and end up buying a product. So how genuine that review is, nobody knows, because an influencer is getting paid for that to say something positive about the
True,
brand, right?
true.
So and do you really need that product? That's a secondary
Secondary question.
question. But then you are buying that particular product. So is it something? Is it a genuine review?
True. So even if it's a genuine review, right? That product could have worked for that particular influencer,
Particular person,
for X reason,
For yes,
and
exactly.
it might not work for you for Y reason.
Why reasons
So
exactly?
identifying that is missing.
That is missing. So there are so many such concerns you can talk about. Negative things you can talk about. Such social medias like TikTok and Instagram. But on the other side, if you look, the exposure that you get from these particular social media is so huge. You're sitting here, and then you're seeing something that is at the other side of the globe. You are talking about series, you're watching something that initially was intended for some other audience,
True.
okay, not for your geographical location.
True.
Yeah. So just think, because why we can do all these things now? Why? Because of course with internet, but also the penetration that these particular apps have on a global scale.
Understood.
So you cannot say that it is bad or it is not something negative associated with all the social media, but that's a huge role. And from marketeer side, if you look at it, it's like a chaos over there. But then, yeah, you have gold mine in a chaotic marketing environment.
So I think coming back to this point of negativity and negative emotions and backlash, right?
Yeah, backlash.
It's also very, very critical to have a crisis management team.
Of course, in
Right.
in this world which we are living in, you need to have a crisis management team, because you need to be very careful in what you say.
And you don't know what is going to
What
affect who.
happen? Yeah, you cannot say what is going to happen. What
Yeah.
will even with brand associations, everything is very important.
You might think it's going to be so cool, it'll strike off as something so great,
Yeah.
and then it might have a different effect altogether.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So you might have endorsing a particular brand, and then something, that particular celebrity has some kind of issues, some PR issues or some issue. The impact of that particular incident is not just on that celebrity; it's also on the brands which the celebrity is endorsing, right?
And similar names.
Similar names, yeah.
Yeah, so I think there was a story a couple of years back. I think Snapchat CEO said something about some Indians, which was taken in a wrong way. The backlash affected Surf Excel as a brand. Sales of Surf Excel declined because people started thinking Snapchat, Surf Excel is all similar names, right? People started acting on those.
Yeah.
So I think that's also very crucial, right? So
Yes,
you need to be aware of what is happening, not just what you're doing, what others are also doing.
So, when you're talking about this, something that came to my mind, something which I saw as a meme in internet, maybe a couple of years back. This is during the pandemic period, everyone was talking, different brands were writing on Twitter, some things like, it's so bad, everything is so bad. Then Corona beer. Just
Out of nowhere, a beer brand was affected, right?
think about us. What did we do? That was like a cherry on top of it. So amazing way of it. But yeah, it's true, right?
It's true.
Yeah. So you never know what can affect you as a brand. Also, what if you have a celebrity that is endorsing? What if the celebrity has some kind of issue, PR issues or some kind of legal suit? You go ahead and cancel your.
I think this happened with Will Smith. With the
Oscars.
Oscar slaps, right?
Yeah.
Many brands distance themselves from
that,
him, and I think one of his
movie
was also called off.
Yeah.
Certain things happen like that as well, right? So this crisis management team or this PR team is actually very, very critical, right?
Very critical. They have to be like on the toes and watch for sentiments of what is happening, what people are talking about it. So that's where your whole idea and tool of sentiment and analysis in reading the reviews. Everything comes into picture. You need to know what the people are talking. So that's we do as sentiment analysis and things
Understood.
like that. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think going one step beyond, right? There's an ethical and moral standards to things,
Yeah.
right? And today's generations care about values, right? So they have their own ideology and their own values and thought processes as such, which leads to brands getting roasted as well,
Yes.
right? So your thoughts on that?
Yeah. You need to be inclusive. And you need to show the real you. Nobody wants the plastic version of what was there, or that's where transparency comes into picture. Many, I would say, couple of years ago, maybe 10, 15 years ago, Victoria's Secret was a huge brand.
It was a huge brand, true.
Each store opening in Paris, everywhere, was like a fashion show. They host a fashion show, and it was like ultra premium luxury.
Ultra premium luxury,
Yeah.
true.
And think of the brand now. Where is Victoria's Secret now? They are trying to, trying to hold a place somewhere on the market. What happened to them? It's a very beautiful case study. I read somewhere like because the CEO, we didn't want to change. Because they always had
Change
the
is inevitable, right?
change is inevitable. You see, when everyone was moving towards diversity, inclusivity, in the sense, like not diversity as such, inclusivity, wherein they are accepting plus size models, showing the real body, human body as such. Here you have in Victoria's Secret, whereas everyone is size 0, and you have supermodels who are like picture perfect. So it's not someone you cannot relate to Victoria's Secret as a brand when you see them, all the supermodels. Nobody in reality, actual women doesn't look like that, right? And then you have other brands who are showing real women. For example, I'm not comparing any brands, but I'm just quoting some examples. Dove's
Exactly.
Real Beauty campaign.
Real beauty campaign.
They brought in women from all colors, all shapes, sizes, without any makeup, and they show you all are beautiful. So that's a difference. And during that phase, Victoria's Secret was still holding on to that traditional, age-old thought process that no size 0 create a fantasy.
True.
It went bankrupt. And now they are, I think what I saw, and with my limited knowledge, is I think they are including plus size models and everyone to, show that they are into inclusivity and things. But that is actually a very downfall for a brand as such, Victoria's, who had enough potential to see the change, see the future. They could have done better.
True. So speaking about inclusivity, right? I think that's what now all everyone in the entertainment industry is also doing, right? So
Yeah.
movies are being more inclusive.
Yeah.
There are actresses who are plus size, actors who
So
are plus
plus
size,
size.
who have the typical dad bod or. So there are different types of genres coming out, and everyone is liking all these kind of genres, right?
Yes. For example, if you take that Netflix series Bridgerton, you have a black queen,
True.
yeah, an Indian, some prince or princess
Yeah,
or
yeah.
someone. So you have people from every
Different genres,
different
races.
places,
Yes.
different countries, all together in one particular series. So yes, you need to be inclusive, and everyone is enjoying that also.
Okay, on that question, so on that topic, I had a doubt. Cleopatra was portrayed as a black queen in what do you say, in Netflix. That received backlash, right? So it has to be realistic at the end of the day, right? Bridgerton might be a fantasy story, but you can't take an actual story and try to bring in inclusivity, right? End of the day, people want what is real as well.
I'm not saying that you shouldn't.
So there's a fine line.
There is a fine line. You cannot create
Not change history.
change history. So the Black Queen in Bridgerton is there because they actually say that I don't know the exact name of the queen, but there was someone who had similar thing in London who was
Could
a
be, yes.
queen, and then so there is a background story to it. So, but then, like you said, a Cleopatra being a black Cleopatra in the Netflix. Um, yeah, but then see, the ideas of beauty and standards, as we know of as of now, was really different
Oh, definitely.
from
Definitely.
there are. I read somewhere like Cleopatra. If you actually put the picture of Cleopatra, you won't find Cleopatra to be a beautiful with our beauty standards of now.
True. True.
So, but then, yeah, you need but then we have a imagination in our head that she's,
No one knows,
no
right?
one
No one
knows.
knows.
But then
Whatever
you
idea
need
we
to
have.
give a white Cleopatra because that's what appealing to people. Maybe, I don't know.
Okay. Maybe. Maybe. But I think it really received a lot of backlash because of the fact that, the community as such, the tribe that they were in, did not have any black
Okay.
royal people as such.
Royal people as such.
So again, so that brings us back to the topic of, Gen Z or the consumers wanting something that's actually true, right? True to its core values and its functions, right?
Yeah. Like, for example, it's, Tom Cruise with his Casio G-Shock. We've seen that, right?
Yes.
He jumps with it. He goes everywhere with it. So that's a
The entire Mission Impossible series was on that, I believe, yes.
yeah. So there's a perfect example of a product placement, or another one important thing when I think of entertainment, music, and products as such, brands such as is Rihanna's Fenty Beauty.
Mm.
40 plus foundation shades. What more you need for inclusivity?
True.
This natural marketing happening over there. People will start talking about it, obviously, and then obviously you have a range because you have so much of range. You're giving them something which is very natural to their own skin tone.
True.
Obviously, it will work.
Because Rihanna herself is a celebrity, right?
Yeah.
So she is a global powerhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Comes down to the question of why are such people not building more brands?
Yeah. But then if you go ahead and see like many celebrities who build their own brands, there are many that didn't actually work out also. Because of various reasons, there are so many failures.
Again, one backlash or one negative comment or tweet or meme going viral can also disrupt the entire thing, right?
Yeah.
No matter how good your show is or your brand is at the moment, one mishap and then it all comes down to how the team manages that and brings out the positive tone in that,
Positive
right?
tone in that, yeah.
Got it.
So I believe in marketing and entertainment. It's like you cannot separate, like what we were discussing in the beginning. Is it all goes together. It starts even before the movie releases. You can start talk about it even before the movie is being, shooting has even commenced. People will start writing about it. People will start talking about it. You create a hype around it. And then maybe the movie comes in like 2 years. But that wait, that is...
That is
and
what
then,
is-
on the premiere night, you have a full house. Yeah.
And I think this extends beyond just English movies, right? It goes to let's just take Indian market, right? Indian market has Telugu, has Malayalam, has Kannada, has Hindi, has all these kind of movies going viral. You have had KGF, Pushpa,
Yeah.
most recently Emburan,
Buran.
the Malayalam one. They're going very, very viral. I remember one Dhanush song, Why This Collabority. This was played in France. People are playing in France. People are playing it in other countries of Europe. How does this all become so viral? Right? So that again begs the question of social media usage.
Yes, exactly. And the power of reach. And again, comes back to the same thing that you don't want to miss out.
You don't want to miss out. True.
Yeah.
What about the future? What do you think with AI, metaverse, all these kind of things happening? What do you think is what's next, Bharati?
I think it will be more of tech mark entertainment together.
Okay.
It's like more of a chaotic system. But then you need to find a beauty in the chaos. So you'll see more of concerts happening in the metaverse, games, embedded movies
Virtual concerts in Fortnite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
So maybe things like that.
Okay, so I think that's a future we look forward to, right?
Yeah.
So with this entire thing, what have we discussed is that marketing and entertainment is inseparable,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Got it.
It goes hand in hand. You cannot separate both of it. It's like imperative that you need to have a very good marketing ankle in an entertainment
All right.
industry, and it's very interesting to work in that particular industry also. Yeah.
Okay, so I think we dust off all the dust and then let's get into the rapid fire session.
Yeah. Okay. So Aravind, Marvel or DC?
Marvel. No, I'd say Marvel.
Marvel. Yeah.
I mean, they've expanded so much. They've gone into so many things. It's just so much more appealing with the storylines and everything now. Marvel, I would say.
Okay.
I mean, as a kid, maybe I would have watched more of
DC Comics.
DC comics and DC cartoons, but now it's Marvel.
Marvel. Okay.
Yes. So, Parvati, question for you. What do you think has been the best ever movie marketing campaign?
I would say it's definitely Barbie. But I mean, I'm talking about the scale in which they have done it. But there are other movies also that have done such things. For example, a Hereditary movie also jump scaring people and things like that. But on the scale and the popularity, everything together, I would say Barbie.
Nice. Okay.
So, Arvind, globally and also in India, who's the most marketable celeb you think is out
Okay.
there?
So this is an ever-changing answer, right?
Oh, yeah.
So with time, it always changes. Globally, I would think Rihanna at the moment. In India, right now, I would say it's Virat Kohli, right?
Okay.
There's point when it was Sachin Tendulkar, then it was Dhoni. There was a point when it was Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
There was a time when it was Tiger Woods. People keep changing.
Yeah.
Yeah? People keep growing, people keep changing, new
Changing,
faces keep coming in.
yeah.
So there's always a need for want of new faces. It's a need and want together.
Together, yeah.
Right? So you always want new faces to be there, someone to push your brand, be your brand ambassador, talk about it. So yeah, globally I'd say Rihanna.
Rihanna.
Yes.
Okay.
So Parvati, for you personally, when TikTok was not banned in India, so was it TikTok or Instagram Reels?
Honestly, I haven't used TikTok. That's my honestly. I never had an account in TikTok. I'm a bit of a late.
Okay.
Person, late to try
acquirer.
out
Okay.
things in certain things, but then I would statistically speaking, I would say TikTok has changed the way we consume content these
Instagram
days.
changed their algorithms. Instagram changed the features to
Yeah, match
match up with them, right? Yeah, that's true.
But then, yeah, globally it's always TikTok.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, on global marketing world, any failure you have seen, marketing failure that you can, on top of your mind?
So there was this Pepsi ad that introduced Kendall Jenner. So the ad in itself was she was having a fancy photo shoot on the side. There was some kind of woke protest happening on the other side. She walks over with a can of Pepsi, opens it, hands it over to the police officers. The mood changes,
Okay.
and then it becomes unity. Right? So this had a lot of backlash. Why? Because it was taking a fun way at most of the protests happening all across the globe, right? So there was Black Lives Matters, there's
Yeah.
um, Love Everyone, all those kind of marches happening everywhere. So when this soda or when this Pepsi brand did this ad, it was seen as if these
a mockery,
marches,
yeah.
yes, marches were taken as not so important, and as a simple soda brand can come in and do something like this, right? So. And Pepsi eventually apologized to the community, apologized to the model also. They did an open statement. They accepted their fault. Again, that's a good show of crisis management,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. It is.
Parvati, what do you think was the best product placement in your mind?
I would say Echoes and Stranger Things. But then I would always go back to the co-branding of James Bond with
Aston
Aston
Martin.
Martin. Yeah, you cannot think of
Elegance.
him.
Elegance at its finest.
Yeah, it's like so cool.
So cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so you have so many streaming service, right? One app that you cannot leave with around.
I am a little bit of a Malayalam movie
Person.
geek per se. I like watching Malayalam movies on my downtime.
Mm.
Maybe I say Sony Live,
Okay.
which is a completely different answer from all these streamlined or mainstream
Yeah, mainstream.
platforms.
Yeah, it is. But
So
then
it
it is very popular in Kerala.
So
Yeah.
it's basically regional based.
Regional
Right?
based,
Yes.
yes.
So I have different moods. So when I want to see something maybe on a Bollywood style or no Hollywood style, there is you have what do you say Netflix. When it's Bollywood, then you have Prime, and there are other different platforms that have their own
Platforms,
diversification
yes,
as such.
Yes.
But it's all difficult because you need to have subscription to all these platforms.
All these things, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the most difficult thing.
Yeah. So what do you think is going to be the trend to watch in this 2026 era?
AI influences.
AI influencers.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I think that's
Assistants
where
and-
we are going through AI influencers with AI being influencing, showing brands, asking us to buy the product.
wonderful.
I think that's where we are going.
Okay.
One word to describe the entertainment marketing.
I think I liked a phrase that you had used earlier. Chaotic genius. So I would stick with that. So there's two words, but then chaotic genius would be
Yeah,
my
that's-
top pick.
It's very true. We need to find a beauty in this chaotic
Yes.
world. Yeah.
So I
Okay.
think that wraps up this discussion as such, and I hope we are leaving you with some insights for you to look into later on. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down, and we'll get back to you on that.
Yeah.
Do subscribe and watch us.
Yeah. So thank you. So stay tuned for our next episode.
Thank you.
Thank you.